Okay, welcome everyone to the fourth episode of the podcast. Got some DDO folks here to talk about the latest stuff going on in DDO. I thought before we get into the VIP program, which is going to be the big thing we're going to talk about, we would go around and just introduce ourselves for anyone who might be watching on YouTube or Twitch who doesn't know y'all. Cozy, you want to start? Just say, who you are, how long you've been playing DDO, where you play, whatever you feel like.
Awesome. Thank you for having me today. Hi, everybody. I'm Cozy Bean. If you guys don't know me, I stream on Twitch and stuff. And let's see, I've been playing for 4 years, like a little over 4 years. And I'm excited for the podcast. I'm excited. Everyone here is awesome. I don't know uh I don't know well, never mind. We'll talk about it later. But anyways, I'm so excited to be here, and everyone is awesome in this podcast. And yeah, I'm excited.
Then you want to go next?
Hey, I'm Nimpin, and I'm a content creator and a DDO reporter. I've been playing this game for 13 years, and I've been content creating for almost 5 years. I'm the author of Nim Notes and the official DDO forums every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. I update with the latest and most accurate news this side of the Mississippi. You don't have to watch 30-minute videos or an hour-long stream to find out what's going on in DDO, and it's multilingual friendly.
All right, Drac, do you want to tell everyone who you are?
I sure can. I am Drek. You would know me from the website and podcast DDO Players. We have been around. The website's been around since 2014. I've been playing D&D or DDO, I should say, since right before free to play. Then I stopped for a little bit, but then picked back up. We do used to be weekly podcast, but my life has been kind of crazy, so it's kind of off and on podcast. But we try to do it a couple times a week. We talk about DDO. We talk a lot about D&D on the tabletop and tabletop news and geek movies. We're kind of a weird hybrid, but it seems to work and people seem to like it. So I do what I can.
Yeah, and more people
really
should
appreciate the tabletop.
Yeah, I listen to every episode of your podcast, and he just did. For anyone who doesn't know, there was you all did an interview with Cordovan just a couple days ago with basically talking about these VIP changes. Same thing we're going to talk about today.
Actually, some funny news about that. We had him scheduled to come on anyway. I didn't know anything that the VIP was going to break, so it was kind of a happy accident that he was on this particular show. Because it was just going to be, he was just going to come on, and I figured whatever I could get out of him, I could get out of him. But then right before, like the day of, that's when this whole thing broke. So it's like, hey, glad you're here. Tell me all.
Yeah, and I'll put a link below on the YouTube side in the description to everyone's stuff, Cozy, Nimbin, and DDO Players News, and websites, Twitch streams, YouTube, all that stuff. So you all can go check them out if you want to. But okay, guys, let's start and talk about the VIP program. So for anyone who didn't see, which... I mean, it was huge news. Probably most people have seen by now, and I did a video on it myself a few days ago, and a lot of people did videos on it. But they introduced a new VIP loyalty reward program. This has been in the works for a very long time. They originally presented it, not officially. They didn't give us an official start date, but they presented it last year in March 2023. And in a live stream, and it got delayed, and finally it's ready to go. It's going to start May 1st. So just in a few weeks here, and basically the way it's going to work is every month you can talk to an NPC and you get a special little reward. So we'll just go through each month and talk about all the rewards. It's a little different than the Year of the Dragon stuff. Obviously, you have to be VIP to get the rewards. You have to talk to the NPC every month, and it's not tied to a calendar month. So if you say sub for the first time 4 months from now, you're going to start with month 1. So the months as we talk about them are going to be month 1 through month 12. And you're always going to start on month 1 when you start, no matter if you start now or you start 6 months from now. So that's the main difference. Because Year of the Dragon stuff, it's all tied to a calendar month. So if you go claim the reward in May, you're going to get whatever reward is listed for May. So that's the big difference. I almost wish
they would switch the language for first month to 12 months to just first stage or something, or first step, because it's more like a path that you personally take. It's not,
Yeah.
as long as you do 1 month, you'll get the first month reward. So it confused people because a lot of people are like, well, what happened if you start this next year? What reward would you get?
It's very
The first
confusing
month.
the way it's worded. I
Yeah.
think the most confusion is because they have it, month one, month two, month three, but like Axel said, it's not actually the month. It's whenever you start, like when you first go claim that's when your month starts. So yeah, they could word it a lot better, I think.
Yeah, and Cordovan has been answering some questions like on your podcast and on his live stream on Friday and on the forums. So he's cleared a few things up. But you do also, one thing that's really important to note is you do have to actually talk to the NPC. It doesn't get auto granted to your account. So if you are VIP for 12 months, let's say you talk to the NPC the first 2 months and then you don't talk to the NPC for 10 months, like you just, for whatever reason, got away from DDO, you're going to only be on month 3. It's not like when you go talk to the NPC again. As far as I understand it, you all correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I can tell is if you go talk to the NPC in month 3, you're only going to get month 3 stuff. You're not going to get 10 months worth of stuff in that
That's
example.
correct.
Yeah.
So
That's
you need
from
to,
what I understand, yes.
so to not lose a month worth of stuff, you do have to log into the game once a month and talk to the NPC. I'm not too happy about that. Now, I will say, to their credit, they are going to have, and this some Cordovan talked about in the forums, they're going to have a little indicator, just like they did for the year, they do for the Year of the Dragon reward. So it'll show up. There'll be a little box there under your buff bar in game. It'll remind you. So at least there's that. So it'll be hard to forget if you are playing the game
So
early.
what I'm going to slide in, and I'm just going to say, once May 1st starts, no DDO players can get hospitalized for longer than 30 days. If you work on an Alaskan fisher boat, you're 6 months on boat, 6 months off, you can't do that. Quit your job. You're going to list out all your rewards. If you're military, you might as well stop defending your country, because you're not going to get your sweet baggie of bag stuff. It's the first
Yeah.
iteration of the VIP royalty. They had boxes and chests. They couldn't even afford to give us boxes. It's on a little paper bag. Here's your VIP reward.
That's one of my least favorite parts of this program. Yes, I wish it was just auto granted. And I'm sure the reason they designed it the way they did is because they want to increase player engagement and get you logging into the game regularly. That's probably the thought process.
Exactly. A lot of games do stuff similar to this where you have to log in every month and talk to somebody and then you get some sort of thing for doing it.
Yep.
I don't know of any games that actually require you to be like a paid subscriber to do that, but I mean there might be some out there that I just haven't ever played. But this is nothing like earth-shatteringly new in the video game industry about, having this, log in every month, get a reward, you keep logging in, you get constant better rewards.
And DDO already does this too with the daily dice in the weekly
Right.
gold roll that VIPs get. You have to log in every week to get that or you lose it. But I still, no, I agree with them, even though I wish it was not. It's better if it's not tied to account. I'm just basically explaining what they're thinking, I'm sure, what their side of it is. They want to increase player
100%.
engagement. It's a business decision.
Yeah.
It might also be a technical limitation. I don't know. I know they worked for a
Yeah.
long time on the tech on this, but I have no idea.
The real thing is the whole reason why we're here and talking about this is because of a coupon code that made certain players, a group of players, believe that the value of VIP was lessened, and I don't think this would be a flat answer. I hope that we also get further VIP. I don't want this to be like here. It's solved. I think this is a good thing to add. I wish that they would do more. So, because I don't think those people are satiated.
Yeah. It's something that I will say I wouldn't expect to change just because based on their posts, they've built tech around the NPC claiming once a month thing. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it is what it is, but yeah, I'm not happy with it, but I think we're going to be stuck with that. So that can be a factor in your decision of whether you want to pay for VIP or not. Okay. I guess any other basic things about the program we need to go over? I mean, I'm going to go month by month through the rewards. They are doing a first time sign up bonus gift. So I guess we can just start at the top and go from there. And then when we get to the end, we can kind of give our overall thoughts on it. So,
Yeah,
I think
let's
that's
do
the
that.
best way to approach it. So they have a first sign up bonus gift, which is 5 additional slots of shared account storage while you remain VIP. So that is tied to your VIP subscription. There's been some benefits here, like the cosmetics we'll get to later, they have recanted on, where they're now going to allow you to keep that. But stuff like this first time bonus, you're going to have to, you're going to lose it if you're not VIP. And the way I've seen this work for other storage slots in the past when I've been VIP and then it lapsed is what it'll probably do is if you have things in those 5 slots, it'll just say it'll stay in your bank, but once you take it out, you won't be able to put it back in. So that's the way that'll work. But it is a first time bonus, and I think the reason they're doing this first time bonus is because the system doesn't actually get you aren't able to claim until the first of the month. So let's say you sub for the first time August 20th. You're actually not going to be able to claim your first month reward until September 1st. But they are introducing this sign up bonus probably so that you have something immediately. That's my assumption. Am I correct there, guys? That's the way I took it from Cordovan's
Say that again?
comments.
Yeah. So the first of every month is when they officially will have the thing. So you know what I mean? Instead of having it already made to roll out, you have to wait until that first of that month
Yeah.
for them to be like, okay, it's ready. You can claim it now.
Yeah,
Even if
that's the
your
confusing
VIP
part.
cycle starts in the middle of the month.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know why they're doing it that way. I wish you could just like if you sign up August 15th, you should get credit for August. But the way they've
I
worded
blame
this,
Blizzard.
and they've also worded this to try to be more clear, even though it's still confusing, is that a lot of these rewards say like first month completed, second month completed. So they mean like they're trying to, I guess, cover themselves there in that you need to actually be a sub for a certain amount of time before you get the first benefit. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
stupid. You should be able to just get the first month reward and the sign up bonus on the first month, in my opinion.
I just don't understand why it has to be so convoluted.
Yeah, it's too complicated and it's confusing. That's one of the issues with the program, for sure.
It's almost like a perfect representation of the communication between us and SSG currently this year. I feel like last year they were way more translucent and it was way more easygoing for like years up until now.
Well, and the program did change some from when it was presented last year. Like there's a few things they took out. I think like fletching. There was one other thing, like the ammo. I think fletching was
Yeah.
an ammo return. There's a few really
Yeah.
bad things they took out. There's still a couple things in
Yeah.
here that are what's the 10% item durability ward? We'll get to that in a minute, but that's just silliness. But okay. Let's go to second month completed. And I will say, to be a little more positive, I do think VIP is worth it, and we'll get to that in the end. But even though I'm
Yeah.
not happy with this program, I still think VIP is worth it for most players. But anyways, moving on to second month completed, you get VIP bag of many things. So you get your selection of one of these. And this is something that's changed since they've originally presented it. So they have, your choices are a raid bypass timer, so that would be heroic raids, ethereal rest shrine statuette. I believe that lets you summon a rest shrine in a quest anywhere you want. A flawless Siberia's Dragon Shard that will let you swap a feat on your character with Fred in House J. A sentient XP gem worth sentient XP. Now, when this originally launched, it said 300 sentient XP, but they've since, I don't know if that was a typo or something they've recanted on, but that's going to be worth some other amount of XP. We don't know yet. I actually asked Cordovan on his Friday show yesterday that question, and he wasn't able to. He says basically that they weren't able to say yet, but I guess they're still evaluating how much that's going to be. That's my guess. So hopefully it's more like, I don't know, 3,000 might be reasonable, because I was thinking with 300 at first. That was one of the more kind of ridiculous things, because I was like, you could almost farm. I was going to say you could almost farm out 300 sentient XP faster than it would take you to run to the Hall of Heroes to claim that.
Yeah, honestly, if you're gonna put raid timers in a bag with a bunch of stuff, and you put something that you get for free for the first tier of giant hold favorite also in there, like what's the value? What's the value? Because one's free you can get for just playing the game, and the other thing you only get in the DDO store. So how much is that sentient? Because you can literally say 0 XP for a sentient XP, and I'm like, oh, that's the equivalent of a flawless dragon shard because I get one for free anyways. It's nothing. It's a nothing. So there's two nothings there. Or it could be a third something because they would have to raise it to the equivalent price of a raid timer bypass, which actually has a value. We see it in the DDO store. So that's my little gripe about these bags. The value is novelty and it's personal, and none of this actually is worth anything.
Well, I guguess you're right. A lot of this stuff is not worth much, but I guess it depends. See, I look at this stuff from kind of I expect a lot of it to be fluff because I think the main thing you pay for VIP is you're getting the 10% XP bonus, the 6,000 DDO points, Elite Open. I think those are the main things you get. And with this stuff, I kind of had low expectations because I know the community has not been very happy with this. I even did a poll on my YouTube channel basically asking people, is VIP worth it now with the old stuff plus the new program? And the results as of this morning with 214 votes was 13% yes, 63% no, and 24% unsure. So community seems to not be very happy with this. And I'm a little bit surprised by people saying VIP is not worth it. I understand if like the rewards, if people are underwhelmed with the rewards, maybe they're expecting more. And I know that other people brought up other games like Lotro, and I have no idea. Like I don't play Lotro. I don't play other games, so I don't know how it compares. But I still think VIP is worth it. But anyways, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you're good. You're doing great.
Getting a little excited there, Axel. No,
Yeah.
No, you're
But
great.
we can talk about that after we get through the rewards. Okay, so Glamour Dust times 50. I actually don't know what that is. Isn't that something to do with cosmetics? Glamour Dust, something with is that? I have no idea. I don't think I've ever used Glamour Dust.
When you gold roll or silver roll and you get a cosmetic, you can crunch it to Glamour Dust so you can buy the actual roll cosmetic that you want.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay, so the next thing in the bag is Mirror of Glamoring. So that's to let you copy the look of any helmet, cloak, armor in the game, or weapon. Mirror Omni Spell Bust 2500. So that's a universal spell component. So it will work for any spell component. And then Legendary Raid Bypass Timer. So that lets you bypass the 3-day timer on Legendary Raids. So that is the bag of many things. So you get one of those in the second month. I guess do you have any other thoughts on that? Like, were you wanting to see other things in there?
I just, like I said, if you're going to put raid timers in there and then you also mirror glamoring, like what's the actual value of this month? You know what I mean? It's more on me to decide rather than they're just throwing things that have different prices in the store and they're like, well, how much is it worth to you? And I'm like, well, I've been playing this game for 13 years. I have all the past lives, 210 Reaper points. If I quit VIP, I have all the content and all that. So 0. But for beginner players, it might be worth a bajillion. Like this is like, oh my god, I've been waiting for a Mirror of Glamoring.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, stuff like Ethereal Restaurant, like that might mean a lot to a new player who's getting killed, in Korthos. So
Exactly. I can see
some of this stuff is catered more towards the new players, even though for experienced players like us, when we look at something like the Rest statue, I'd be like, well, I'd never ever use that. But for a player that's new and they're dying halfway through Misery's Peak or out of spell points, maybe they really like that.
Oh yeah, a lot
like
of
3
this.
years ago.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you can go
3
ahead.
years ago, that Glamour Dust would have been like the most valuable thing because I was still trying to get that stuff. You know what I mean? It's all personal, and it changes depending on where you are at the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can see a lot of the stuff catering to, like you said, like a newer player or maybe like a super, super casual player, like somebody maybe that doesn't ever do Reaper at all, or maybe somebody that, only plays every now and again. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to bring a potion to get my spell points back. I ran out of ingredients. So, I can get one free because, hey, if I sign up for VIP, I can get one of those free. And for a new player or a casual player, sure, but for somebody that's only running Reaper, they're not going to want any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Which it's very subjective to, I think, your play style, how long you've been playing. But then again, I was going to bring this up at the end of this discussion, but I'll just bring it up now. Like, could they have done anything to make everybody happy, from the new player to the real hardcore experienced player? Is there anything they could have added into any of the stuff that would make everybody happy? And to me, I think the answer is no.
Not of things that are, I guess, financially feasible.
Right.
Because I've seen some players who are like, they should be giving us autos boxes every other month.
Right,
I'm like,
exactly.
guys,
that's never gonna happen.
Like, they have
Right.
to be able. Like, I understand, like, but you want that, but guys, like, they gotta be able to pay their employees and keep the game alive. Like, they can't cannibalize their store sales like crazy like that. Like, they're not gonna be able to give out the whale items.
Right.
For
At the end of the day, it's...
Now, unless, and someone brought this up, I would love to see them do a VIP Plus tier, maybe up at the $200 a year or something, and give out better rewards. I think players would get on board with that, but that's probably a completely different discussion. But
I mean, to be honest, it wouldn't be a big ordeal if they didn't try to close so many holes with this bag. The fact that we get a greater bag on the 8th and then in one of these bags again on the 10th.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. But like there's going to be a whole 13th month, 14th month, 25th, 4th month. Hopefully they will hear us for the first 12 months and they'll do better on the next ladder.
And going back to what Drac was saying, like trying to cater to multiple like casuals and also the more hardcore players, they could add more things in this bag. Like there's a lot of things. Like how about a few?
That's my opinion.
How about a few jewelers toolkits or something? That would be cool. Like there's a lot of little things they could add. How about like I don't know, some spell point? Do they spell point potions or something?
Yeah, mnemonic enhancement. That's what I would like.
They could add like a stack of those. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of little things. How about Slayer potions? There's a lot of things they could add.
Yeah.
To be honest, Osmond, sorry, I just woke up. Osmond DS had a good point. The first 3 months should also include something for because usually doesn't hardcore last like 2 to 3 months?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming
Typically,
you can get benefit. Typically,
they do shortened seasons, but yeah,
events don't work, but just VIP loyalty rewards work over there. Shouldn't the first 2 to 3 months have something that might benefit you? Because there's a lot of players who only VIP during hardcore too, just so they can get access to the content and not have elite openers.
Yeah, like VIP's value shoots way up during hardcore because you have the elite open, which is basically mandatory on hardcore. I mean, not unless you have to at least have one person in your group with it. With VIP, or I don't understand. Like I guess technically you could play all the way through on normal and just get the level 20 reward. I guess you could technically grind every quest several times, but come on. I mean, who has time for that?
It's really hard.
No one has time for that. Yeah.
It's really hard. I tried.
Yeah, or TR 2 times. Yeah.
Tried.
But for the average, there's a tiny percentage of players who I think would reincarnate it all on hardcore. Very tiny, I would say. Like 1% maybe.
Yeah. I think that
maybe a little higher than 1%. Yeah.
I think that there should be more options in the bags that apply to other players as well. Because, I think that I'm not sure who all these rewards are geared towards. I can't really tell because it's kind of like I'm not sure. Feels like on a lot of these months I'm like, but what about the people that don't like crafting? There should be a second option on that crafting month. And then what about for the people who don't care about durability? I think there should be a different option for that month.
Yeah, well, and
like you pick or choose cafeteria.
I feel like broke people care about durability.
Maybe I don't know.
I just have to say it, like if you're worried about your plant because your shit keeps on breaking.
Well, here, let's go to the third month, and then we're almost to durability, and we'll talk about that because I have a lot to say on that too. So let's go to the third month next. So third month is a bonus character slot. So you do get the slot. It's not permanent. You only get it while you're VIP. So if you unsub, then you're going to lose the slot. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, because I've experienced this, I currently have -2 character slots on Thelanis because I keep transferring hardcore characters over, and I'm not buying new slots. So when that happens, if you lose a slot, what it'll do is right when you log in, because I saw someone ask about this, right when you log in, it'll ask you to pick. It'll say, okay, which characters do you want access to? And you have to pick the number of characters you have character slots. And after you do that, then that's it. The other characters you're locked out of until you buy more character slots. So that's the way that works, for anyone wondering.
I found that out the fun way.
So I still have two.
Yeah, I found that out a long time ago.
I still have hardcore characters that I transferred over that I haven't been able to touch and move the stuff off of because,
Same.
for that reason.
Same.
But okay, so we can go on to. By the way, that character slot does stack with everything. For anyone wondering, it doesn't take up a slot of one of the store slots or anything. Okay, fourth month. Here we go. The worst month. Plus 10% item durability ward. Get a 10% chance to avoid item wear on all characters while you are VIP. So I don't know really how that's going to work in game. I don't entirely understand. It says plus 10% chance to avoid item wear. Like the enhancements in game, typically you'll just be immune to item wear. So I don't know what it means plus 10%. Does that mean 1 out of 10 times you hit an ooze, it just won't damage your weapon at all? That's what I'm assuming. Is that how you guys are taking this?
Every time you swing, the game has to do a new calculation every time to see if your things break.
Well,
which is just great for performance, right?
Because I'm trying to think, because there's other enhancements. Isn't there enhancements that reduce the damage? Because I don't know. I completely probably 95% of other players, I just ignore those enhancements because you can just go to a vendor and repair.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone who actually uses those enhancements because you can just repair with platinum for very, very cheap, even when you're in Korthos. I mean, I don't know how much it costs to repair level 1 gear, a few gold, maybe a platinum or 2. I don't know.
This is why 10%. This should be switched to just 1 million plat. Just give people you're too broke to repair your stuff. Just here's 1 million plat for 4 months.
Yeah, maybe just give us, that would always be better. Like give us platinum each. I don't know, a little bit of platinum at every level or something. I don't know. But this one is kind of this one's kind of silly. Yeah.
Here's the thing: 10%. You're not gonna notice 10% durability. You're not gonna notice a 10% durability.
Well, and I know, Drac, you're a more casual player. Is this appealing to you?
No, not at all. I pay no attention to this at all.
Yeah.
I'm like you said, it's like, oh, I guess my thing is broke. I have to go fix it now. It's like, I don't care. This is the weirdest one in this whole list to me. I'm just like, I don't understand. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the conversations they had. It's like, you know what we need? We need a durability bonus. It's like, why do we need that?
Yeah. This is one I hope they recant on. They just need to change this. Or if they want to keep this, just add something else. How about add another pick of the bag to this month or something? I don't know.
Or just durability immunity. If durability is a thing, either give us the money to fix the stuff if you want to keep that in the game, or just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Drac.
No, I don't understand the thought process behind this. And going back to the previous conversation, I couldn't tell you who this is for. Unless this is geared towards the new player that has never played DDO before, doesn't understand that, oh, hey, if I hit an ooze with the wrong type of weapon, it's going to damage my weapon. I guess I could see it being for that, but
I think that's who it's for. Players who have literally never played DDO before and who are considering starting DDO and are looking at the VIP.
You're in your 4th month.
Ooh, item durability. That sounds good. We should do that.
This implies you played 4 months of DDO and
that's a good point.
That
is a great point.
But it's still something they would look at and consider.
Yeah. Why is this not your first month reward?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why is it not
or your sign-up bonus?
Yeah. I don't know. This whole thing is just weird to me.
Yeah.
Why is it not 100%? Because 10% isn't noticeable, and
No.
I know people say can't
no.
compare this game to Lotro, but it's another SSG game where it's 100% durability.
Is it? They have a VIP 100% durability.
And the staff there's items in the game. Their hidden feature is that they cannot be broken. Staff of Shadows is a big one. It cannot be broken. That's its hidden feature.
Yeah, and I don't know many players who care about repairing and reselling every now and then, because inventory's kind of, needs help in the game. And so people always have to sell stuff after a handful of quests anyways. It's not a big deal to go repair, resell. I just know a lot of people mostly aren't bothered by it, or if they really care, like if they're playing a staff monk or something, they're putting some points into that thing that gives them like a 75% durability, whatever. So yeah, I feel like if for it to really be for players to be able to feel it, it needs to be a much higher percent, like 50 or 100%. And I also think there should be a second option. And if it's for new players, it should be in the first month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know many people who are going to notice that 10% item durability ward.
At 2 months, I already made friends that were able to pay for my repair bill in this game. So I never really cared. So like that needs to be a sign-up bonus or the first month.
Yeah, I know generally most people I talk to don't mind. They just got used to repairing, reselling after a handful of quests, or you put points into something if you really care about durability. But you can play a quarterstaff monk and you can do a bunch of chains, and then your staff could still be at 80% if you put your points in the durability thing. And then, but if you didn't put your points in the durability thing, I think your staff would. I was talking about the math last night, and it would be like at 20% still. Like their staff wouldn't be broken; it would be at 20% if they had done like a handful of chains in the game, and they didn't have the enhancement to help them with durability. Their staff would still be at 20%; wouldn't be broken. So.
I think this warrants a whole podcast in itself because there's actually a long history of them. When they introduced this repair, there was certain vendors that only repair your dragon armor. They got rid of that. They've been slowly getting rid of all of the uniqueness of this repair. Like, oh, it's just like D&D. I have to find a specific guy that knows how to work with dragon armor to repair my dragon armor. Oh, and I have to go to this person to repair my wood stuff and all that. And they just got rid of that.
What
and
doesn't
then, you know what I mean? There's a whole history of this system totally being stupid. And them kind of realizing that, and then them forgetting to fix it, and then them, you know what I mean? Like, this whole durability ward thing opens up a can of worms.
Yeah, it's just they've gone away from it. I mean, there used to be older items that broke more easy, and I don't remember really having, because I think random gen loot still takes permanent damage, I think, but I know named items don't, and everyone's using named items for the most part. I mean, I guess new players aren't, or on hardcore we're not, but there used to be a system, I think it's still in the game, where you can do the ritual on the what is it called, the stone change, to make it so it doesn't take permanent damage. I remember doing that. But yeah, I mean, the way DDO is now, it's kind of just repairing has just evolved into just every once in a while you go to the town vendor or the tavern keeper and hit repair, and it's just a chore really. I would almost wonder if it's better at this point they just I mean, they never would, but I would love to see them just take it out of the game. Just don't have stuff take damage, because it really doesn't serve a purpose, because they haven't done anything with it. If they're gonna do something interesting with it, okay, maybe make a weapon that's super good, but it takes massive amounts of damage and it breaks out through the quest. If they want to do something like that, okay, but if they're just gonna not really do anything with it, then why is it in the game?
A One Punch Man sword that you only swing once and it breaks, but it
imagine
does
a sword.
Yeah,
it does like 1,000,000 damage in one hit, but it breaks. But it breaks in like 2 hits.
Yeah.
No, that certainly wouldn't cause any balance issues, not at all. Okay, so there's item durability. Yeah, no one likes it. SSG, if you're listening, change it, or if you want to keep it, maybe add something else in that 4th month.
Yeah.
But okay, 5th month, another pick of the bag of many things. 6th month, Lightning Storm Trail. Get a cosmetic lighting effect on your character that leaves static behind when you move. So a couple things on this. It doesn't prevent your footprints. I don't know about the wings, say like the fairy wings from hardcore, if you can use that with this. I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. I haven't seen an answer to that, but I know
that's
it will work
the
with
question I
footprints.
asked Friday.
Did he? Oh, what did he say?
He says he has to get back to me on that, and I hope he remembers too.
Ooh.
But
So,
it looks like it might not work with wings. And for me, during the month that I get blue dragon wings, you're gonna give me a lightning show that doesn't go blue dragon, the electric dragon. You're gonna, I'm gonna get. I have to choose between having blue dragon wings or a lightning storm trail. You better make them work together because that would look cool. I would pay for that.
yeah, yeah. I guess we'll see. I have no idea if they're going to allow that to stack or not, or work on top of each other. I guess is a better way of explaining that. But
Yeah.
this is one thing they did recant on a bit. So when this was originally presented, this was going to be something that you would lose if your VIP lapsed. Now they did recant on that. So this and the cloud, you're gonna be able to keep permanently after you've earned it, even if your VIP lapses. So that's a good change. So kudos to
Yeah, that was
SSG
my
for
one
changing
gripe about this. I did not like the concept of that I had to pay to rent. I
Yeah.
had to pay a certain amount of months just to have the privilege to rent a cosmetic. I
100%.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I was gonna VIP anyways, regardless. But like, my main gripe about this loyalty program is that I love DDO, and love is a two-way street. And if you're in a relationship and that person in your relationship comes up to you and you're like, "Hey, I know we've been seeing each other for 6 months, but can you give me like $20 and I'll kiss you every time I see you?" And they're like, "What?" So I paid for all these dates and all this for 6 months just so I have to pay for the cosmetic benefit of kissing in public and holding hands. I don't know. There's something up, right? It's almost slightly disrespectful, but like I'm glad that they took that back because that just made no sense.
Yeah, and Troggy in chat says, I don't want to have to rent a gift that was given to me. I agree. That was silly. It didn't feel very good
Yeah.
for you to have to you to lose that. So, and there's no reason they should make a new cosmetic every year. So your incentive to stay VIP is that next year you'll get whatever the other fancy new cosmetic is. I would hope they can at least make a new cosmetic every year for VIP or a few new cosmetics. So
That's cool. That's a good idea.
yeah. So hopefully next year you'll have access to this plus whatever the new one is next year. I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't said, just to be clear, they haven't said they're going to do that, but my assumption is they would at least make a new cosmetic every year. But okay,
I
but
think people get hyped about those. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I know cosmetics are a little bit divisive because some people love them. Like for some people, that's like VIP's worth it on its own for the lightning, for the cloud and the lightning trail. Honestly, like some people love cosmetics. You look at other games,
Yeah.
they make huge money just off cosmetics, and then there's other players who don't care. Their character can be just brown. They don't care.
Yep.
They're just gonna run
Yep.
around. They don't care.
To be
Yep.
fair, amount's amount. It doesn't care what
Yeah.
as long as it functions.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're writing.
Like they can just be wearing a mud suit. Some players and they don't care.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yep.
But a lot of players do care. I mean, most people want to look good in their fantasy game. Any other thoughts on and I'll put a picture, hopefully I don't forget in editing, of the storm trail so y'all can see what it looks like. And I'll put a link for anyone watching on YouTube to this article so you can go on their website, SSG's website, and look at all this stuff we're talking about. But okay, 7th month, VIP's Artisan's Advantage. While you remain VIP, get plus 10% to crafting XP. So that means Caneth crafting XP. In addition, each time you click a collectible node, you get a chance to gain a crafting material token, and they explain this a little bit. The crafting material tokens, anytime you click on a collectible as a VIP, you can get a token. We don't know what the drop rate of these tokens are. I know Cordovan was asked. Okay, let me take that back. I think he was asked on his stream yesterday and wasn't able to
Yeah, you
give
didn't know.
any kind of answer. But what the token is basically you open it up your inventory and you get to pick from a list of collectibles. We don't know what collectibles are on that list, but presumably it would be ones that are helpful in Caneth crafting since it's tied to this plus 10% crafting via XP month. So do you guys Caneth craft? I personally don't care at all about this because I don't Caneth craft. I never have. I've never like enjoyed Caneth crafting the game just because it's like I'd rather just use named items because they're just easier and I don't have to do inventory management. And I don't have to make a million clicks in the crafting hall to make stuff. It felt like a chore. It's always felt like a chore to me. And I know some people like it and that's cool, but it just has never been for me personally.
I Kenneth Craft. The only thing I can really say about this is for being VIP, I get 10% XP requests anyways. So why am I VIPing for 7 more months for another 10%? That should just be passive anyways with VIP. I think this should be like tokens enabled, and then this artisan thing should have been added to just VIP anyways, because they give us 10% and a 1% buddy bonus on top of that, and for quest XP. So why? I guess in the 7th month they assume that a player would be like, oh, what's Kenneth crafting? Maybe I can get a gem of many facets and do something fun. But I don't know. It just it seems like one of those things that should have been placed earlier and should already just be part of VIP, to be honest.
I agree. I think that here's the thing. There are people who like crafting and there are people who don't. And then there's a lot of us who don't do crafting. And but there's a handful, I know a handful of people who like crafting, sure, so that they might like that. But I think there should be a different option for that month. I really do. Because that's not going to be anything for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be like, I don't do crafting, so...
I know Voodoo Spice would lose 500 videos if we took out Kenneth crafting right now, though.
Yeah, and I know some people in chat are commenting. I know Kenneth crafting is useful for sure. In certain situations, like B-Jack said, in early mid epics, crafted items can fill gaps really well. Yeah, I'm just too lazy to do it, and I would just get by with epic sets and whatever other named items.
Oh no, I'm not saying get rid of
yeah,
crafting.
just to be clear, yeah, Kenneth crafting is good. It's certainly useful. It's just I don't do it. Like, it's just not for me. It's just too much inventory management for me.
No, crafting. I know.
I don't even pick up items out of the chest. It's been years since I picked up an item out of a chest that wasn't a named item or just platinum or gems. I don't pick up the random gen loot unless I'm on hardcore, of course.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying get rid of crafting at all. I'm just saying that month bonus. No, I know there's a lot of players who like crafting, and it has its strengths. You can do cool stuff with crafting. I'm just saying there's a lot of players who don't do crafting and don't like crafting. So I'm saying for that 7th month, I think there should be a second option. Just like these months that have just one option, I think there should be 2 options, because there's some people who don't care about cosmetics or don't have inventory for it. And there's some people who don't care about crafting. There's some people who don't care about item durability. That's just...
And I hope that they're a little transparent on the rate here. Like, there's a chance to get a token. What is the chance? Can they just tell us? Like, what? Yeah. I get a little frustrated sometimes with DDO. It's like, why do we got to be so secretive about drop rates? Can you just tell us? Like, can we just know? We're still going to play the game.
It could be the same as a rare.
You need to know the percentage, because if you don't know the percentage, you can't see the value. You can't find the value. You don't know if your effort's what it's gonna be worth. Which I'll get more into percentages as we get into the 1% in the 9th month in a second.
B-Jack says maybe give VIP 5% Reaper XP instead. Well, I mean, certainly everyone would like that more, but I think that's probably
makes sense on the 7th month.
They're probably not going to go there. I mean, has there any? I don't see any increases here at all to XP.
I think there's a lot of different options that there could be that would give value to other players than like new players. Like in the bag, I feel like there should be some more options, and you should be able to pick 3 or 4.
Yeah, they should certainly add more options in the bag.
Yeah,
I don't see any reason why they can't do that.
Yeah,
like, why not at least toolkits or something? I mean, there's a lot of things they could add.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
1 free chest reroll.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. That's on my list of other things. Yeah.
So, is there any other comments on the Kenneth crafting 7th month, artisan month? All right, 8th month. So this is the biggie. Greater VIP bag of many things. Greater. It's more good. So the greater VIP bag of many things allows you to select from one of the following items. Heroic True Heart of Wood. Don't pick that. You can get that for... guys, don't pick that. You can get that for Tokens of the 12. True Heart of Blood. Epic Heart of Wood. Also don't pick that. The one you want to pick, this is the next one. Plus 20, Lesser Heart of Wood. I think that's the big value one. Iconic True Heart Wood. There's also for players who maybe don't want the plus 20 heart, the extended VIP elixir of discovery that lasts 12 hours, and VIP Sovereign 3 experience elixir of plus 50% XP that lasts for 12 hours. So this does not stack with the other. I think there's another Sovereign 3 in the store. There was a comment here on this article that it doesn't stack with the same plus 50% XP Sovereign from the store. Just like other so pots. You can't use you won't be able to drink this plus the store one and get plus 100% is what it's trying to say. So you can use them just one at a time.
And this is why these pots are a scam. They're 12 hours. So think of how much airtime that they're taking down. Like you get the elixir for 12 hours. How many are you going to be looting chests every minute? No, you're going to be playing a dungeon for 10 minutes and then you're going to be looting some chests. So most of that potion is just fluff. And the same thing with the XP pot, because you'll be running through Slayer zones, especially in like Isle of Dread. You're not actually getting 12 hours of 50% XP. You just have 12 hours of possibly getting 50 XP. And so it only benefits people who are speed zerging through their days. Like I can see this working out for Strim Tom or even Yusukai, who can do a life in a day, but for other players, it's just a bag of chips. You open up the bag, it's mostly air.
Well, one thing you can do is, I saw someone on the forums, I believe it was, recommend this. Make it 12 1-hour pots instead of one 12-hour pot. That way you could pick and choose better. That would be good. Yeah, but I mean, this gets into a whole another discussion, but I mean, I would love it. This is why I don't use XP pots, because I feel like a pressure when I drink them. That like, okay, I have to be as efficient as possible right now. I can't raid. Forget about raiding. Can't raid. You can't do anything casual. Don't socialize. Don't wait around in quests for people to join. Like I have to zerg. That's why I can't stand using XP pots. It makes me not enjoy playing the game, even though if it is more efficient. What they're really geared for is people who are I mean, like you mentioned, like Strim Tom and other players who are going to be able to like be super efficient and level like through a life really fast. That's where you get a lot of value. So I mean, I would, and again, this gets into another topic we don't really have to get into if we don't want to, but I wish they could do something to make them more based on completions, and it would be difficult to do. I don't know how they would do it, but make it based on quests completed instead of quests instead of time. That would be so much better. I don't know how you would do that without nerfing potions and what the right number would be, but that would be awesome if they worked like that.
Yeah,
pick me.
What, Cozy?
Yeah, I also have an idea on this.
Go for it.
Okay, so what if, this is a brilliant idea, what if you could pause them? You just go up to where the icon is at the top, you click and you can pause it right before you enter a quest. Then you could take breaks and hang out with friends or whatever, and you wouldn't stress. Wouldn't that be awesome?
The only thing with that is how they it would dramatically increase the value of the XP pots, because you could just pause them until like 20 seconds before you complete the quest, and then resume them and then pause them again. So there'd have to be some kind of limitation
before your quest. So you have to pause them before you start a quest, before you enter in a quest.
Yeah, like maybe let you pause them on Slayer areas.
Yeah,
would be good.
And then that way you can go do some quests with your friends or a LFM you see, or your friends want to do a raid or whatever. You can join those LFMs, whatever, and then turn it back on. And then you can turn it back on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just as it is now, as the system working now, the reality we're dealing with, this 8th month might as well just say plus 20 Heartwood.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of these you can get, like the True Hearts, the Epic Hearts, you can get that with combinations of Valor, and the True Heartwoods you can get with the 20 tokens of the 12. So you guys, if you're listening, don't take those. You can get those, you can grind those out in game really fast. What you want to get is the plus 20 Lesser Heartwood. That's really the only one. Unless you really aren't going to use it, then you can get one of the XP elixirs, I guess. If you're one of those players who levels super efficiently, then maybe it's worth it to you to take the XP. But the Lesser Heartwood, I think, is really valuable, because not only can you can use that to turn like a 20 barbarian into a 20 wizard or whatever, but you can also use that to get a heroic past life at any class that you don't want to play. Like if you're going for heroic completionist, say you just don't want to play a cleric, well, you can level as a sorcerer and then turn into a cleric once you get to cap, and get your cleric past life, so you don't have to level as a cleric. So that's what that's really good for. It basically gives you a past life, any class you want for a completionist.
But here's a thing about remember when I was talking about the worth of that is plus 20 harder wood is way more expensive than a wish that allows you to level up in a race, but get another past life as a different race. I wonder why we don't have that item for classes. It's because of the plus 20 hard wood, right?
Yeah. Well, I've always, like, it's been the big reasons I've never been into heroic true reincarnation, because there's just classes I just don't want to play. And I wish I could just pick the past life I want, as opposed to having to have the majority levels in a class I don't want to play. So I've kind of always written off doing heroic completionist for that reason. But maybe, I mean, maybe I'd reconsider if I can be VIP for a few years and stack up a few, I guess, plus 20 lesser hearts. Because it's essentially filling that role in the game as the wish does for the races. It does the same thing, just in a not straightforward manner. I wish it was a little more
in a more expensive limited time release manner.
Yes, you can't always buy these. I don't know how often. Every once in a while I see them in the store. I don't know how often they do. What, every 2-3 months or something? I don't.
Yeah, I think it's on a 4 times a year cycle at least.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, this is the big month, so this is where you're getting a lot of your value from. So you don't have to be VIP for 8 months for this, but you know, you get that plus 20 lesser heart of wood, which is really nice, or the XP elixir. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
If you're Sonic,
in the what?
You're Sonic.
if you're Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah, if you're speed leveler, yep. If not, that 12 hours might be like couple dozen quests maybe at most.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9th month VIP discovery boost. So this is another big benefit. It could be worth a lot over time. What this is, in the 9th month, you get a plus 1% increased chance of named loot dropping for your characters in chests that stacks with elixirs of discovery. So this should stack with everything. So you basically get a plus 1% increased drop rate. So now, as far as I know, the standard drop rate's like 33% for named items on elite. So now you're going to be at 34. So what, I guess that means for every 1% more. I was trying to think in my head, like, what's the math? But yeah, I guess every 33 quests you run or something, you get one more named item. I don't know.
Yes, that's correct. Because it's 1 out of 100. Yep.
Yeah.
Just that 1%. Yep,
so it's not a lot. I mean, it'll add up over time, I guess. And obviously it's very RNG dependent. And Drac, I know you have very good RNG luck, as you talked about.
I was just about to say, so I'm not going to get anything. Perfect. Even with this, it's not going to help, but great.
Yeah, but
I mean, the fact that it stacks with the elixir, that makes that's it's not horrible.
No,
I wish it was a
that
little
is
bit
kind of
more,
nice
but
that it stacks.
it's 1/5 of a potion. So like, and it's a priceless potion, guys. You can't get this in the DDO store. So the price of an elixir of discovery, there is no price. It's literally priceless. There's no DDO point amount. There's nothing. So technically, this 1% isn't actually as terrible as that one may lead you to be. It's 1/5 of a potion that you have to get lucky in a gold roll die, or they have to mess up and make one of the things that you bought freemium, so they can give you an elixir of discovery as an apology. Right? So in that case, if you look at when they made a bunch of classes and races free, one of these potions are equivalent to a race and class. Next month, we'll be getting one for every expansion that we own. So thus, it could be anywhere from between the price of a class or a race or an expansion in the DDO store. So 1/5 of an expansion is actually quite expensive.
And as B-Jack was saying in Twitch chat, this does stack with itself. So if they keep this around for next year, you might go up to +2. So it will stack. All this stuff is going to presumably stack with next year's items if they change it. Now they might change this calendar. They haven't been very clear on that either. I tried to get some clarity from Cordovan on that, but I'm assuming they're going to change it. I don't know if what I was trying to ask Cordovan yesterday was if you sub, let's say you sub for the first time June 2025, are you going to start at the beginning of this first calendar, or are you going to start the first month of whatever the new calendar is that they change it to in 2025?
From what I understand, it's the first calendar. No matter when you
Okay.
subscribe and start, you're going to start from square one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to
that's
go
kind of-
through that year, and then you'll go into the new, like the 13th month, whatever that is. You're just going to be quote unquote behind because you didn't start when everybody else did, but you're not going to lose anything. You're going to be able to get every reward in order.
Okay. Because I was
it's
actually
not a calendar.
I was under the impression it was the latter, like when they changed the month, that now is what the like what that month is. So like the lightning trail, if they change that to something else next year, I mean, I hope players can go get that, and I hope you guys are right. I was kind of under the impression the way the tech worked is that you'll have a reward assigned to a specific month, and once you claim that month, you'll get whatever the active reward is. But I hope you guys are right, and you can actually go get the. Well, I could see some players getting frustrated too, because what if they offer some super cool cosmetic next year, and then someone signs up, and it turns out, oh, I have to be VIP for 18 months before I can get that cosmetic. That's going to be really frustrating. So
And
I can
that's
see
why
I can see the pros and cons of it.
I think that's why they're doing it the way they're doing it. It's not an actual calendar year. It's
Right.
just it kind of
To
like
track.
the clock ticks when you first do it, and then you're just on that reward track no matter where. But you might, like your friend might be 2 ahead of you, and you're going to be behind, but you're still getting the same rewards. You're just not getting them like as the same time as everybody else because maybe you weren't VIP and you decided, oh hey, I want that, cloud mount or want the trail. So I guess I got to start my VIP so I can get on that track to get that.
Yeah, this goes back to that conversation we were having earlier, that the verbiage used in here makes it really misleading. And
Exactly.
the first time they talked about it, it was going to be a year cycle thing, but they decided to tell us that it's not after they announced this instead of making it very clear.
Yeah, and I'm still not. We still don't really have a firm answer on that. So I'm wondering, like, let's say first month right now it's 500 DDO points. If they change that next year to, I don't know, 5. Let's just say hypothetically, and they would never do this, but say they make it 5 retimer bypasses instead of 500 points. When you sign up in say June 2025, are you going to get 500 DDO points, or are you going to start on the new track on the new months? I still don't understand.
Cordovon made it kind of clear on the forums. I have it in my NIM notes. He
Okay,
said,
maybe I
sorry,
missed
folks, I
that.
spoke incorrectly. The VIP program indeed continues past the 12th month. The plan is to continue to add to the reward list over the time. So once you acquire the 12th reward, you'll be eligible for the 13th reward. So the 13th reward is not going to be the first reward. It's going to be
Okay.
a whole separate list.
Okay. So, okay. Well, in that case, I
Okay.
think we'll see how it works. But yeah, so, okay. So there'll be some players that are going to be frustrated because they're going to see next year's rewards and they're going to realize they have to be VIP for 18 months or
Yep.
20 months in order to get that, which is going to be a whole thing on the forums next year. I guarantee you.
Almost
guarantee
like
you.
60% game.
They're going to, like next
Yeah.
year, they're going to release like, I don't know, a dragon mount or something. And players are going to see them like, oh my God, 10th month dragon mount? You got to be VIP for 22 months first.
Right.
And yeah, that's going to be a whole thing. Anyways, anything else you guys want to say on the discovery boost, the extra % drop rate?
How would they have to be VIP for 22 months first?
Well, because let's say they for next year, they add it to the 10th month in 2025 when they redo the calendar. So if it works on the basis of you start in month 1, they're going to have to go through all 12 months of the first year before they wrap around and get to the second year. You see what I'm saying? Like the 12 months that they've released now. So if you sign up next year, let's say June 2025, you're going to have to go through all of 2024's months until you start on 2025's. So if they release it in the 10th month, say next year on next year's calendar, you'd have to go through 12 months of the first year's calendar and then go through the 10 months of the second year's calendar.
Aha.
You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, 10th month, another bag of many things. 11th month, bonus account storage slot. So 5 additional slots. So now you're up to 10. This will be in addition to the bonus, the sign up bonus. So you will lose this if your VIP lapses. Then 12th month is the other big cosmetic, the Storm Cloud Rider mount. And if I remember in editing post, I will put a picture of this on the screen, but it's a big giant cloud. big
Yeah.
giant cloud.
It's
Emphasis
a
on big.
floaty.
The-
Like it's
I
huge.
feel
Like
like
it's like, okay, like I'm looking at the picture of it right now, and it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 characters wide. So I saw a hilarious comment on the forum. Someone was like, "Okay, well, I'll enjoy not being able to click on the raid giver because there's going to be like 6 of these around the raid, like the killing time raid giver in the market, and you're not going to be able to see the NPC, or like, oh my god, that owl in the in Feywild, like to get
oh
into
my god,
Dryad.
yeah.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
I feel like the thing that's overlooked here is the new character animation. You see the character
Yeah,
on top of the
but no,
cloud. He's
yeah,
doing something
yeah.
that
I,
hasn't been in the game.
Yeah, I don't mean to be too critical because I think the cosmetic does look really cool. It's just something funny someone mentioned, but you know, it does look like an awesome cosmetic. You can see some lightning going off the bottom of it. It certainly looked a lot better than what I pictured of it in my mind, which was like a cloud from like Mario 3.
Right? That's exactly what I did too. And
That's how I
that's what I
pictured
said
it.
on my podcast too. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank God this is not what I was picturing, because
Yeah,
holy cow, that would have been bad.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
I'm just excited about that character animation, that surfing thing, because now we can add
Yeah.
that animation to other things.
Yeah, I love the floaty.
Oh
I've
yeah.
always wanted to, yeah, love it. That's one of the best things about Warlock, or that like shadow dancer thing. You can float.
Pale
So
Master.
this,
Yeah,
yeah,
Pale Master.
I mean,
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I
yeah,
love playing
yeah,
Pale
Pale
Master.
Master.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
or Dark
That's
Apostate.
right.
I think it's the same way. Is it?
Yes,
Yeah, Dark
yeah.
Apostate
No,
same
Dark
way.
Apostate, you walk.
Do you walk?
Oh,
I'm trying to
is it
remember. It's been a
Shadow
while since I
Dancer?
played it. Maybe you're
Yeah,
right.
you walk. You're just a shadow with red stuff on you.
Okay.
Yeah, which one's the one where you're dark and floating?
That's
Is that
Wraith
Shadow?
form.
Wraith
The
form.
top, the form from Shadow Dancer.
Yeah,
Enlightened Spirit also floats,
yeah.
which means that they don't get their footsteps, which is kind of silly. They should at least do a streak behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've gotten through all the rewards, what do you all think overall of the program? Are you happy with it or not happy with it?
To me, it's just a bonus on top of, because I'm going to be VIP anyway, so it's just a bonus on top of everything else I get. I mean, some of it I like, some of them I'm like, yeah, like the crafting month, I'm SOL because I don't craft, so I'm not going to get any extra bonus for that month. But you know, I mean, it's just extra on top of what I'm already get. So sure,
And
okay.
that's one thing to emphasize here is this is on
Yeah.
top. It's not replacing, because
Yeah.
I saw players that were confused. This is not replacing the current VIP benefits.
Right.
This is stacked on top of those. So you're still getting the 6,000 DDO points a year. You're still getting Elite Open. You're still getting the flat 10% XP boost. You're still getting the Saga skip. You're still getting the movement speed in public areas. What else am I mentioning? Like, there's a lot of stuff. The weekly gold roll you're still getting. You're still getting other things like the special weekends they do where VIP might get something extra, or time to time they'll offer, you know, monthly daily gold rolls or something. You're still getting all that stuff on top of this. This is extra. I mean, my take on this is, like, I'm gonna do a video here pretty soon, and I did one years ago, but I think VIP, if you break down the numbers, is well worth it for anyone who plays the game a reasonable amount of time, because if nothing else, it's $99. You get 6,500 DDO points. You get the 10% XP boost. I mean, for most players, that's going to make it worth it in and of itself. Not even including in this stuff. So I didn't have high expectations. I had very low expectations. I know other players are saying, oh, it should be better. You know, oh, Lotro, it does this and it's a lot better. But if you break down the numbers, I still think VIP is well worth it. So from my perspective, I wasn't expecting a lot here, even though a lot of the stuff is fluff. I'm content just to get some extra things. But that's my opinion. What do you think? What do you think, Cozy and Nimbin?
So I think that, yeah, like this is extra stuff for VIP, because I wanted to do some extra stuff to increase some value, right? Because some people were like, hey, our value's decreased because of the free quest coupon, right? And so they did increase the VIP stuff. They did add more, they put more. The first proposal that had a lot of stuff that was not super useful for us. I don't think, and a lot of people were really like did not like that first proposal, right? But this one, it feels, like they're trying to increase like the value and increase more VIP stuff, to incentivize people to keep staying VIP or start being VIP. And I think part of the thing that people are a lot of the thing that people are like saying that it's mid or it's meh or just kind of like no, I feel like for some people, the options that are there are not going to incentivize players. For some players, there are some things that might incentivize players. But there's a lot of different players with a lot of different play styles and things they value. There might not be things that some players value on this, but there might be some. But I think the main thing is that we can't compare it to like daily gold rolls because that was a thing that they said they were going to do, not permanently,
And they
right?
shot themselves in the foot. SSG
They
shot themselves
did.
in the foot so hard with that because
They
they didn't
really
think that
did.
through, and that was a huge
No.
amount of value, and they raised player
Yeah.
expectations like crazy by doing that. So that's
Yeah.
SSG really hurt themselves by doing that.
Yeah. They were trying to do a fun limited time thing, and then people got used to that standard.
Yeah.
And now everyone's going to compare stuff to the daily
And they
gold
also
roll.
shot themselves in the foot by having to do that in the first place because they
Yeah.
didn't have their VIP program ready, and that was a holdover initially,
Yes.
and it's been delayed
Yes.
so many times, the improvements. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is their
rest in
fault.
peace, Humble Fryer. He died while
Well,
working
even
on
before
it.
that, and I understand that, yeah, Humble Fire passed away, but even before that, they had already proposed, they already delayed doing something. Like originally when they offered the coupon code in COVID, during COVID, I think that was 2020, they knew at that
Yeah.
point they needed to do something. So even way before that, they really dragged their feet on this. They should have had something in 2020, 2021, ready to go for VIPs.
Okay, yeah. So I see why people are like, it's been a long awaited,
It's been a very
right?
long awaited
long
thing. It's been
awaited.
basically since 2020, pretty
Yeah.
much, since that free coupon code
Yeah.
got released for the first time.
And so it's been long awaited. And so I think I see why there's disappointment for a lot of players that it's more middle of the road because they're like, okay, it's been long awaited, and they had expectations at a certain standard. So I think that's part of why a lot of people are saying this feels like it's not enough to incentivize me to do VIP. But I still think that VIP, I mean, I'm free to play. And I've been free to play mostly for the 4 years I've been playing. But I did do VIP one time for a month in hardcore because I needed to. I didn't have people to quest with for like a month of one of the hardcore seasons a few seasons ago, and I wanted to open on Elite. I didn't know that it auto renewed, and so I accidentally did it for like 3 months or something,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't know it. Yeah, so that was my experience with VIP. But I think like I still would recommend new players getting VIP because I have friends that I'm like, oh, you wanna? I want you to play these quests with me, and they don't have the quests, right? And stuff like that. So I still recommend VIP, and this is extra bonus stuff. Um, and so, but I think it's just for some people, it could have had more options, or it could have been a bit better or more value to people.
And I'm not
But
VIP either. I've been premium I was VIP in the past, but I've been premium for probably year and a half, 2 years now. It's probably been since I've been VIP. So this does actually incentivize me to want to go VIP just for the points and the heart and the XP, if nothing else. And the saga skip is really nice. Those four things are going to make it worth it for me. And I'll probably consider re-upping VIP whenever if I can start playing more. My plan was to wait until this comes into effect, but I'm not able to play a lot of DDO right now. So when I can start playing more, I think I'm for sure going to re-up my VIP based on, if nothing else, the heart. The plus 20 heart's pretty big for
yeah,
me. I mean, that kind of put the extra straw on the camel's back to make it worth it for me, because it was already basically worth it, assuming I'm playing a lot. And I'm someone who raids a lot too, so I don't even get a ton out of the plus 10% XP.
yeah. If I could afford it, I would like that floating mount as well. I would love that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't afford it, so but maybe in the future there might be a way if you spend a lot of time in the game or something and get a ton of something, maybe I can earn them cloud mount in the future. I don't know. But yeah.
My personal thoughts of I see this in multiple different angles. Like personally, this is good because the one thing I didn't like about it was fixed. I get to keep my trails. I get to keep my mount. For the game, I feel like it's a convoluted and it totally doesn't truly cater to one side or the other. And I really feel like for the first couple months, it should be catered for newer players, and then later on, it should give kind of like something that allows newer players to get into the more experienced players' realm. Another thing, way I look at it is that, as I mentioned, one of my close friends and a developer passed away making this, and I just wish that this could have been done sooner. I wish that that SSG would future-proof this by allowing themselves to be able to take other people's works and continue it where they left off. I feel like I just feel hopeful that this is going to be better in the future. Now that it's here, I don't care if it's crud now. I say let's air it all out. Let's put it in the threads. Let's give suggestions, whether it's out of imagine we might as well go start a thread and be like, hey, next month can we just get a free chest reroll or a car? Like, might as well just say it all out, even if it's ridiculous, and that way they can see what they should do for 13th month or 24th month and all that next year. Because now that it's here, they're gonna go roll out with it because they can amend it in later months, not retroactively, but they can add months with things that we like. So we might as well start airing it out because this isn't going to Lamania people. This is what we're gonna get.
Yeah, it's starting here in a few weeks. So I hope they can recant on a few things, like maybe add something else to that item durability month, maybe.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't the main form of this is not going to change because it's going
Yeah.
into effect here in a few months, so or a few weeks. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
okay, well, you guys have any other thoughts on the VIP program? If not, I wanted to ask you all what you thought about the new quests. Is there any other thoughts on VIP before we move on? Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, we're going to get into the new quests now. So right now, for free, you can go claim for the Year of the Dragon. They have the Slice of Life Adventure Pack, which is 3 quests, very lighthearted quests. I haven't run them in a few weeks, but I have run them all, I think 2-3 times, I think at this point. So the first quest is Fred's First Date. Very, very different quest. It's very like dialogue focused. It's basically you're taking Fred the Mind Flayer on a date, and you go through a carnival and a restaurant. There's a lot of a lot of dialogue that's very, for me, almost felt way out of place in DDO. But what do you all think about this quest? I mean, I think it's fine. It was amusing, but I can't see myself really running it a lot.
I like it because this is the first Zorian-like chain that's not have to do with the Zorians or you know what I mean? Like, it feels like something that you would go into those quests in the 12 and they'll be like, welcome to this alternate reality where things are wacky and things don't make sense. And here's a joke, let's drink with Mick Jagger. You know, it's just silly stuff without beholders. I like that.
Hey, for you guys in chat, I'm doing my best to try, kind of reach chat as we go, but we'll definitely have, when we get to the end, we'll definitely have open time for you all to ask anything you want in chat, and we'll respond to whatever you want us to talk about. Okay?
For sure.
Because I know I'm missing things. It's impossible for me to talk and also read chat. So just FYI,
I'm also very excited because a dev that made one of the quests is going to be on one of Sutherland's streams soon. I can't wait to hear what they say about this.
About the new quests?
Making the quests, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Cozy and Drac, have you all had a chance to run the quests? What do you think? The Fred's First Date quest specifically.
I have not actually ran them yet. I've watched a couple people stream them. I'm excited to check it out. I kind of always like how they do these little fun quests every once in a while. I think of them as just like a distraction from all of the, main hardcore storylines that we get. Because some of the storylines get, pretty in-depth and pretty deep. And this is just kind of a nice little distraction every once in a while. But how much would I go back and run them? I don't know. catastrophe quest. I've done it a couple times. Is that something I'm always going to go back and do? Probably not, but you know, it's just a nice little fun distraction from the main quest lines.
Yeah. There's nothing like.
So
Yeah.
Fred's
Go ahead.
sorry, if we're going to talk specifically about Fred's first date, there's actually a little history between me and that quest that goes back to Dryad and the Demigod. When they were making Dryad and the Demigod, there was a little joke about making a cooking show raid in SSG, and Cordovon mentioned in one of his live streams. I'm like, hey, can we get a dating simulator in DDO where we can date our favorite NPC? And I have, and coincidentally, this pack has a cooking quest and a dating simulator with Fred. So
Dude, you got in their minds.
you're welcome, America.
You totally
succeeded.
did that.
Do you know you're a telepath?
Yeah.
No, I have a power of not being forgettable, so that helps.
I like it.
I will say, as
It
far as
worked.
like mechanics, there's nothing. There's not a lot of fighting in this quest. It's all about
Yeah.
the story. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why it doesn't really have a lot of replay value for me. Because once you've read
Yes.
through the story, it's like, okay, you go in there, and essentially what the quest is to click on some things and kill some mobs. It's not. There's nothing earth shattering.
It
there's
was
kind
fun
of
to
like
do
a low
one.
blow in there. There's
low
that
blow?
crystal that should be in our guild ship so we can test our DPS.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
That
doesn't it just do
crystal.
0 if you don't have? Because there's a part in the carnival you need a certain strength score to break the
Yeah.
crystal, and I have not run on a character with a high enough strength to do that. So I think when I've hit it, it's just said 0. But does it actually?
You can
You
break
can't.
it.
I know you can
Yeah.
break
Yeah,
it, but
behind
does
the
it show actual DPS numbers? Because yeah, if it does, that would be a good test.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think it should.
I
think it
think
should
it
be in
just
guild
shows
ships.
0, but I could be
Oh.
wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I have it recorded. It's not on my VOD anymore, but it's in my recording. I could try and find the recording of the stream and go see if it did.
Okay, so the next quest is this old haunt. It's a haunted house. This person in Sharn is renovating, and apparently they have a property that is haunted. So you go in there, you destroy some walls, you kill some undead. Y'all have any thoughts on this one?
I haven't done this one or the other one yet.
Okay.
I only did the first one. I'm
And then did you
excited
have a
to hear
chance to
about
run this
them.
one? The story's
I like
good.
them.
Like the thing about this pack is it's all about story, all of these. So it's something I almost want to say you want to solo and actually read. I know some of you all might be shocked at this. There's actually these things called words in boxes in DDO, and you can read them. I know a lot of players don't really
What?
understand that. No,
You
understandably
don't just
though.
click, go. Come on now.
I'm the same way. I do read it the first time I run the quest, but after that, I never read dialogue after the first time.
I'm the same way. I will read it the first time, and then I'm just like, nope, let's
Yeah.
just get to the quest. Yeah.
But yeah, but really that's the focus here. So I would encourage y'all to run these solo if you haven't, and just read it. It's entertaining enough to read the dialogue. So there's a good little story in this one. I won't spoil it, but it's worth reading.
Yeah, I really like it. It kind of feels like a Netflix special. You know what I mean? Like
It
the
does.
storyline with it. Yeah. Like a lot of these kind of feel like they were watching Netflix when they made them. I really
They
like
have a modern
the
vibe to
story.
them.
I like
And some of the language,
like
especially
that-
in Fred's first date, is very like modern style language. It's not like fantasy-esque Tolkien style
yeah.
dialogue. It's very much like something you'd read on Twitter, to be honest.
Honestly, the renovation quest is actually probably one of my favorites of here because you get to interact with things that you usually don't in a way that you don't. Usually, you see one of these like I don't want to do any spoilers. There's a mob in here that's not a mob. That's actually your ally. And you see it and you're like, oh, I'm going to have to fight this thing, right? And then it's like, no, I'm here to give you some dialogue. And you're like, oh, cool. And then you get to break things that you normally don't get to break. And you're like, yes, this is DDO gone wild, man. Let's do this. Let's tear this thing down, dude. It's so fun. I suggest definitely playing through this.
Yeah. So the third quest is called Too Many Cooks, and in this one, again, I won't spoil it, but basically you're in a cooking competition. This one, unlike the first two, is more hack and slash focus. There's definitely more mobs. It's a little longer as well. But yeah, do y'all have any thoughts on that one? I guess just Nimbin, because I don't think either of y'all have Drac or Cozy have run them. So this is the one
The items are
Nimbin
cute.
used his mind to influence SSG to create, apparently.
No, Fred's first date was
This
mine.
is the cooking one.
This was actually, I think, Tonquin was one of the ones that mentioned this on a live stream that they were talking about doing a cooking thing. I added the dating one.
Oh,
So I like this one. It's really cute. It's a competition cook thing where you basically go around sabotaging the other chefs, right? And so each kitchen represents a different thing in DDO, like Warforges, the Droam Nation, uh, uh, the guy next door. I don't know, and it's really fun. I suggest you do it. The items are the cutest things ever.
Yes, that's what I was
I
getting to
don't.
next. Was the items. So,
Yeah.
okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, the cosmetics from this pack are glorious. So if nothing else, here's what we got. We have a hat, a helmet that's a chef's hat. Looks like a chef's hat. We have a long sword that's literally a fish. So you can literally run around and smack people with a fish if you have this item, or glamour. You can glamour all these. So you can glamour it and put it onto whatever better sword you want to use stat wise. There is a club that is the flower bouquet, so you can carry around a flower bouquet, and there are orbs that are cookbooks that you're literally carrying a book. I mean, it looks like it was probably just a cosmetic alteration of I think the Strahd book, but anyways, it's a cookbook. It literally has a little picture of a little culinary picture on it. Makes it look like a cookbook. So very cool cosmetics. So if nothing else,
I would have loved. Sorry,
who
I
doesn't
keep
want their
interrupting
tank?
you.
Who doesn't want their tank to be holding a fish or a bouquet of flowers? I mean, come on.
yeah.
I personally wish one of the books would have made the joke "How to Cook Humans" as the title. From the Simpsons anthologies. How to cook humans, and
That's
you're like,
amazing.
wait.
Yeah. Also, the items are not bad. The items have set bonuses, so that's a big thing. And the set bonuses are actually pretty good. There are some good set bonuses on this loot. So even from a min-max perspective, take a look. They're very viable set bonuses. I don't know if I haven't gone through the gear Tetris. I don't know if any of this stuff is like where it stands, but I can tell from just looking at it, the set bonuses are very much viable very much competitive with the expansion stuff, I will say.
It's one of the very few sets that include imbue dice, so that's really good.
Is there a frying pan? Someone in chat mentioned. I don't think there's a frying pan, but that would be cool if there was.
No, but we were saying that would be really fun too.
That would be
A
fun.
frying pan to whack a fool with,
I've been wanting that since Lord's March 2.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
I was actually in Cordovan's stream yesterday. I was like, okay, we need a two-handed swordfish. We need throwing stars that are sea stars. Just like literally
Yes.
there's so many good ideas.
Yes. Did they have these on Lamania
And
to
we
be
need
tested out?
so they have a chef's hat, but they don't really have a
Mhm.
chef's apron or anything. It's looked like a more of a reskinned anniversary event cloak, I think was what it was. But I wish they had actually made an apron. That would be cool. So you could actually run around and look like an actual chef. That would be cool.
I
But
definitely think
you
apron.
can get the hat, but not really. I mean, they do have a white cloak that kind of looks like a chef's apron, but not really.
Just so you know, we're on a 1-minute ad.
Oh, are we? Yeah,
Mhm.
I meant to disable those, but
Not for
It's
me,
okay.
because I'm tier 3 sub to Axel's channel.
yeah, you can sub, guys.
Oh.
You won't see ads. But anyways, it'll be on YouTube though, so you all
Yeah.
can watch it all on YouTube without ads or anything. Well, actually, there'll be YouTube ads on it, but you know what I mean. You can actually watch it all and not miss any.
Yeah. It's all good.
Okay, is there anything else you guys want to say on the new quests?
Were these tested out on Lamania?
They were.
Yes.
I did run them. Well, I ran Fred's first date on Lamania. I didn't run the other two on Lamania.
Okay, because I remember at the PAX East meetup, Steel Star was like, we were talking about stuff he'd worked on, and was working on an archetype, and then they were like, actually, put that over aside because we got to make this new archetype dragon related for the Year of the Dragon. So he was talking about that archetype he had worked on already. I don't know if people know about that one. That's
The Great Club one?
The which one?
The Great Club one? The one that's supposed to specialize in two-handed weapons?
Yeah, it's like a barbarian, but can also do cold or ice spells or something. some
Yeah.
magic or something. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that is not common knowledge then.
No, no, no. Like I said, I've been a DDO reporter for several years, and
Oh,
I literally stalk these people. I know about when they're modeling. I know when they're moving. Yeah, SSG.
crap. Was I supposed to say that? I don't remember if that was.
No, but he leaked that in the Discord last year.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So yeah, so then he was showing us pictures on his phone. He's like, "Yeah, you want to see what's upcoming in the new stuff that's being released?" I was like, "Yeah, we do." And they showed us because I hadn't didn't done any Lamania, and it was so cool that he had on his phone pictures of the fish and the chef hat and all that stuff. So I'm super hyped to see all of that in game because I haven't seen any of that in game yet. I'm really excited.
All right. Well, the last thing I had to talk about today, unless you all have any other topics you wanted to bring up, and then we'll get to Twitch chat if you all have Twitch has anything else you all want us to talk about. But last thing I had on my list was Dragon Lord. Have any of you all? I know Nimbin has played it. Drac? Have you had a chance to play it or check it out? Or Cozy, have you played it?
Yeah.
You have played it.
Yep.
What about you, Drac? Have you played it?
I have not.
Have
No,
not?
I've been meaning to make one, but I usually play like Rangers and Rogues, so I'm like,
Gotcha.
I don't know if I could really use that in a Ranger or a Rogue. So
Well, it's been I thought of bringing it up because I know we talked about it last time I did one of these podcasts, but I believe we talked about it right when it came out, so I wanted to see what people's like updated thoughts were now having some time to play it. All I want to say is like it's so fun to play. If you all haven't played it, go play it. Hopefully you got it for free. You can't claim it for free anymore. You could last month, but so if you didn't get it for free, you'll have to be VIP or buy it in the store. But it's really good. It's like so fun to level, and it might be too strong, but it's like its niche really is killing trash because you get this Dragon's Roar, which is this big cone that if you go up to tier 5 Dragon Lord, it will just make everything helpless. They'll take helplessness damage. It CCs everything. It does a lot of damage. You get so many cool things. You get like the first strength trance ever in the game is in this tree with a charisma trance option as well. If you want to go charisma based, you get an imbue, which is an element of your choice. You get the Dragon Lord capstone. I'm not a big fan of, but you also get access to the Ravager tree from Barbarian, and the Ravager capstone is bonkers good. It is just like I would say if you're gonna run this, probably the best way is I know there's a lot of like I know something like 15 Paladin, 5 Dragon Lord's really good too because you can get Holy Sword, which would stack with your critical bonus in the tier 5, but or at least the part of it would. I have to look at the numbers, but I know at least part of it does to fill out your crit profile. But the Ravager capstone is crazy because it's based on your Intimidate score, and it's just an instant delete enemies button like around you. And it doesn't work on everything because it doesn't work on things not affected by fear. So like it doesn't work on undead. I don't think it works on oozes. I think it only works on intelligent creatures, but it is like redonkulously good. So what I've had a lot of fun doing is running it pure and then taking the Ravager capstone. At least that's what I've been doing lately.
I noticed that the one gripe I have. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. Archetypes usually been really weak or really interesting, like Blightcaster, but Dark Hunter was the first one that wasn't so underperforming and overperforming that it didn't really need a nerf, right? So if Dragonlord is just right in the cusp of being OP, it's kissing it. It's
it probably
in a
needs a slight
sweet
nerf.
spot.
It probably needs a slight nerf. I'll be honest, it probably does.
I feel like it's solid. Well, I played a Kensai before I had to LR because I was doing PDK for Charisma build to get a 206 DC on my roar. And Kensai is still more DPS. And if Dragon Lord needs a nerf, then Kensai needs a nerf.
Well,
that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think Kensai is going to be more DPS against single target, but man, Dragon Lord just clears trash so good because of Dragon's Roar, making everything helpless. You don't really get access to anything like that in Kensai. For raw DPS against, say, bosses, I'm pretty sure, and I haven't run the math, I'm pretty sure because the Kensai gets the extra threat in the tier 5, and it gets another extra little short-term boost and things. So I'm pretty sure Kensai is still better boss DPS.
My one gripe is the illusion of charisma support. It's not just roll up a dragon lord and you get to be a charisma warrior. You actually have to work or invest in feats or enhancement points or splashing or wait until you're level 20 to get invest in an epic destiny to get and have Fey Dark Illusionist. So there's a lot of work to get that charisma thing unless you want to use a secondary stat as your trance, but why do that when it's so easy to go strength base with Dragon Lord?
Yeah.
I almost wish they took the because I've been battling since Fey Dark Illusionist to get a charisma trance so I could play a pure 20 melee bard. So seeing the charisma trance there kind of felt like a slight for my demographic, which is probably less of a fraction of a percent of the community. Like no one's out there going like, "What about the melee bards?" Because every time I bring this up, they're like, "What about barbarians?" I'm like, "I'm not talking about barbarians. I'm talking about bards, melee charisma builds." And every time I bring up this charisma trance, someone talks about another issue that would bring up if we. So I almost wish the charisma trance stuff was taken out. It's just. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're not going to play pure Dragon Lord, or if you're willing to invest in the resources to make it charisma to hit and damage and yada yada yada. I played it charisma to hit and damage. It's not freemium. It's
Yeah, I
not
played mine strength. I just went strength. Got to
strength
use
is
that
the
new
best.
shiny strength trance. And the other thing
And
about
as a
Dragon
hork,
Lord that makes it so good is the DC for Dragon's Breath. I mean, Dragon Breath being this huge cone that it is already, making stuff helpless. Is your DC things that get added to your DC is your tactics bonuses plus your your breath weapon DCs plus I think it's your strength, or is it strength? I think strength. So you have so many things going into that. Plus you're a fighter, so you have access to all the tactical feats that fighter gets. So you can just get a huge DC without even having to gear much. Like I had one stunning item on as I was leveling through epics, and I was easily stunning everything. Like running
yeah,
like soloing
like
R1s, it was just bonkers. And even when I did grouped and did higher skull stuff, it was not a problem. And I'm sure once if I got to end game and actually put effort into gearing, getting a high strength and getting all the DC stuff I need from tactics gear, I mean, I'm sure you would have a huge DC that had no problem stunning stuff in high reapers.
on PDK I got a 208 with just the same gear I had on my bard. So it's ridiculous how high that DC can get. And
Oh, you get extra
I
DCs in the
honestly
tree
like
as
Dragon
well
Lord.
as you take enhancements in the tree. And it's actually
Yeah,
technically a cower, not a stun. I should be clear on that. But it does make mobs helpless if you have the tier 5
yeah.
Dragon Lord enhancement.
And that Sunder thing, that was pretty nice because you get imbue die based on the element of your dragon, and so a lot of mobs might be immune and all that. So they have this thing where you sunder, right? And it breaks the immunity.
Yeah, so
So
you
you can
can
you
you,
do your
you can
full
do fire
damage.
damage against fire elementals. I'm not a big fan of that mechanic in DDO, but that's a whole nother topic. I think elemental strip dumbs the game down, makes it less fun. But that's my opinion.
I
But
know
in
some
any
devs that
case,
agree with you.
I wish it didn't exist. I think it would be far more interesting of a game because it's like that existing, especially when you have like if I'm playing a tiefling or something, it just feels so stupid to me when I use that. And oh, look, I'm killing devils and fire elementals with Firestorm. It's silliness. But anyways, but you can strip immunity. You do get a lot of other little things that are nice, like you get wings, so you can like Zerg with this class if you
There
want
was an
to.
issue when I was playing Dragon Lord, and I had to put in ticket in that dragon flight thing. Uh, put other rushes on timer. Even Epic Destiny strikes are rushes.
Yeah, I don't. Didn't they fix that? I don't think it
They
was.
fixed that.
They fixed it. Yeah, I don't think that was working as intended. So it
Yeah.
should be fixed. But well, is there anything else you guys wanted to say on Dragon Lord? If not, I'll just figured I would ask Twitch chat if there's anything they want us to talk about or any questions. If you guys in Twitch chat have questions or things you want us to talk about, please put that in chat now because I think
Yeah,
we're
right now
through.
is a great
So I
time.
think we're through
Yeah.
everything I had on my
Yeah,
list.
yeah. I only had two things to add.
Oh, is there anything you guys wanted to bring up, Cozy or Nimbin or Jack? Is there anything you all wanted to talk about?
I've only taken Dragon Lord to like level 7 or 8, but so
Yeah, and I want
far
to see
so
what
good.
Cozy thinks.
Yeah.
Cozy, you haven't talked.
Yeah.
Me and David started going there. What do you think about Dragon Lord?
Oh, it's fun. And I'm doing two-handed fighting, so I get the big swords, so that's fun because I haven't done the build like that in a few builds. So like in a year or something. Yeah, like 6 months plus. So
When it's so good, it's two-handed fighting too, because you cower everything,
Yeah.
you get the helplessness damage, and you just
Yeah.
get all the strike through, and
Yeah.
you just plow through
Mhm.
Yeah.
mobs of enemy, like big crowds of mobs. It's awesome. So
I love
good.
the sword of shadows 15 to 20 on a ×5 crit profile. Oh,
Mm, just feels like you're slicing through butter.
Through
Just
butter.
like,
bada.
yeah, melty butter. Yeah, like a hot knife in butter. So nice. And I forgot to say about the VIP thing. One last thing on the VIP thing. Those months that just say pick one more item from the bag, that I think should be pick four or something, and you should have more options. I
Yes.
think we should
More
be like a
options for
cafeteria
sure.
style. Yeah, pick three or pick four, at least three, I would say, and have some more options to choose from that have different values. That things, because some people told me you could bundle everything in that not the greater VIP bag, but just the regular bag. They're like, you could give me everything, and I still wouldn't care. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I think you should be able to.
I
Yeah,
I think it's funny that they're willing to make a token for collectibles, but they're not willing to put something in the bag that allows you to not log in for a month to get. That would be kind of cool to have
yeah,
like a pocket NPC. Like you can
yeah.
pull that on, and then you don't have to log in next month. You just will use your pocket NPC and claim that month reward.
Well,
We should do that for
or if it's
people who need to
just,
be deployed.
I
Yeah,
wish it worked, and I know someone in chat mentioned like they were in the military and
yeah,
they may not be able to play. I wish it just worked at, like if you miss, don't log in for 2 months. When you log in, you just get 3 months worth of stuff when you talk to an
yeah,
NPC. Why doesn't it work like that?
yeah.
Like you
They
should
should
just,
just store it for you at the
yeah, like you
NPC
should be
when
able
you
to just
haven't
get the
claimed yet.
months you missed instead of being
Yeah,
months behind all
yep,
at once when you do talk. But
yeah. Okay, that was all I was gonna say.
is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about, Nimvind or Drac? Anything we went over you wanted to comment on that you forgot about earlier or anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Nope. Okay. Well, the only question I see in chat is Mystic Dragon says, which element in Dragon Lore do you think is best? Acid, poison? I actually don't, because you have the strip. It doesn't really matter that much because you do have the strip. And I know me, I took Improved Sunder and I'm constantly spamming Sunder. I mean, it does matter, but like, it's not something that matters to a huge degree just because you have that strip. And also it's tied to your enhancements, not your feat selection. So that means you can always respec if you want to. So like if you're going into Shavarath, for example, you don't want to be fire. Like you can respec and pick a different element. So I personally, I used fire for the most part when I was leveling, and then I just did poison just for to mix it up, just for no like min max reason, just for funsies. But I'm finding it almost doesn't matter because of that strip.
So it depends on your end game weapon. If you're running end game Fire Over Morgrave Greatsword, go electric because it doesn't do slashing damage. It just does electric
Oh,
damage.
that's a good
And
point. Yep, that's a good
yeah,
point.
if you're using flame swords from a druid past life, or you know what I mean, so you can basically do whatever you want. But if you're using a weapon where the base damage isn't typical and is an element, you might as well use that element.
Okay, well, I don't see any other questions unless you all have something else to say. I figured we would just let you all plug your stuff and we'd call it a stream, or we'll call it a podcast. I want to keep streaming after this and do raids.
Yeah, with Dragon Lord, I've only done the acid one so far, but only to like level 7 or 8. So yeah, that's the only thing I have to contribute to that. I don't know.
All right, well, Cozy, you want to go first and just plug your stuff and tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. You guys can find me at twitch.tv/cozybean with a K. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome podcast. I love doing these podcasts. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks so much for leading a great podcast. Thanks everybody for the great discussion. Drac and Nim and Axel. Thanks everyone for being here and chatting in chat with us. That was awesome. Yeah, I stream most evenings and most morning/afternoons. So yeah, that's where you can find me. You can check my schedule.
And like I said, on the YouTube side, and I will put this on YouTube, guys, on my YouTube channel. I will put in the description below links to everyone's stuff if you want to check them out. Go ahead.
Thank you
If
for
you want to
doing
go
that.
next, Nim.
Oh, okay, I'll go next. You can find me at twitch.tv/Nimvin. I stream Monday through Friday in the mornings, and I also stream in the evenings on like Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. I and you can also find my thread Nim notes in the official DDO forums, where you can find, if you don't have time to watch videos or anything, it's a quick little note. You can just read it in 5 minutes, and it's a hub of information from Twitter and the forums and everything else. And you can always find it on the forums.
All right, Drac, you want to go last?
Yep, you can find me at ddoplayers.com. That is the main site. Also over on Twitter, it's DDO Players. I do have a Twitch channel. I don't Twitch much, but I plan on starting again. That's Draculator_72 if you want to watch me over there play DDO badly.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for taking the time. It was fun, and yeah, we'll see you all on the next podcast. I don't know when it'll be, but it will be whenever there's stuff to talk about and people have time. So later, guys, and I'll be back in like 5 minutes for raids on Thelanis.